Oh, shit.
We see the time when Earth was getting desolated by the battle of two god-sized monsters called Godzilla and Ghidorah. Dr. Mark Russell called out to his missing son named Andrew, but happened to see Godzilla in the back. Now the timeline comes back to the present, and we see Dr. Emma Russell sitting on bed, seeing her family picture. Outside, thousands of people gathered around the Bay Area to honor the victims of the 2014's Titans attacks and protested against a monster hunting organization named Monarch. A news reporter explained that the recent spike in mass die-offs in the world's oceans could be caused by efforts to locate and track Godzilla, who hasn't been seen in over 5 years. While Emma heard the news on the TV, later, she had a word with her daughter named Madison. Soon, a shriek of a Titan shook the kitchen, spreading a feeling of fear among Emma and Madison. Emma and Madison immediately left for the Monarch outpost to investigate and find another Titan becoming triggered inside its membrane for some unknown reason. A containment team quickly arrived to deal with the situation. Soon, a gigantic creature emerged from its membrane, and the scientists named it Mothra, Queen of Godzilla. Mothra sensed the humans as its enemy and became violent in no time, attacking the containment team. Other scientists decided to kill Mothra, but Emma stopped them, assuring she could handle it. Risking her life, Emma entered the containment to calm the furious Mothra. She turned on a device called the Orca, producing frequencies called biosonar that could mitigate Mothra's fury. Madison also broke into the containment upon seeing her mother's life in danger. At the very last moment, Emma managed to find and set a frequency that could pacify the colossal creature, giving a sigh of relief to the rest of the containment team. Meanwhile, a gang of armed mercenaries led by Alan Jonah stormed into the Monarch outpost and shot dead most of the scientists working there. At Monarch Senate hearings, Mr. Coleman explained the importance of Titans to other senators, but the justice dismissed his remark, asking him to give her a strong reason not to exterminate those Titans. She added that the Monarch was tasked to find and destroy those radioactive monsters. Dr. Ishiro Serizawa butted in, saying that killing the Titans would be a mistake. They returned because of them. It was our atomic testing that awakened Godzilla and other creatures. The chief of the Monarch accused Serizawa of protecting the Titans. Dr. Graham and Serizawa informed Mark about the abduction of his wife Emma and daughter Madison and revealed that the kidnappers were after the Orca, the device once Mark built to keep whales away from the shoreline, but now it is being used in a wrong way to communicate with the Titans. Dr. Graham urged Mark if they found the Orca, they would be able to find his family. Dr. Graham explained to her team that their containment site in China's Yunnan rainforest was raided. A specimen, codenamed Mothra, escaped. And there was a man named Alan Jonah, a former British Army colonel turned eco-terrorist, was responsible. Dr. Graham further revealed that Jonah wanted to capture Mothra alive. Alan Jonah arrived at an outpost 32 of the Monarch in Antarctica, kidnapping Emma and Madison. His mercenaries shot down all the present guards of the Monarch, taking over the facility. Then he forcefully took Emma and Madison into the facility, showing them the god-sized Titan frozen in ice.
Fire up the drills.
Alan commanded his men to start drilling into the ice to awaken the Monster Zero. When Mark was recalling the happy moments, the ship is violently attacked by an unknown creature from outside, causing panic inside. Colonel Diane ordered her man to launch an attack on the incoming creature, but Serizawa warned her not to do this even by mistake, realizing that it was Godzilla outside the ship.
You can't be serious.
Open the shields.
Mark asked Serizawa to open the shields to let Godzilla know they were not his enemy. Godzilla approached the ship, and seconds later, it moved away, sensing that the humans inside were not a threat to him.
ma'am?
Myths and legends.
Dr. Graham revealed that the specimen at the facility of the Monarch in Antarctica has been kept entirely off-book, but it seems to be another apex predator. It appears to have been an arch-enemy of Godzilla, battling for dominance over the other Titans. Alan learned that Mark and his team were about to land at the facility. Alan's men installed the detonators in the ice and left. Then, this happened.
Let him go! Madison, walk to me! Walk to me!
Run.
Mark asked Emma and Madison to come over, but Emma picked up the remote instead and pressed the button, freeing the colossal titan called Monster Zero. Alan escaped from the collapsing facility of the Monarch, holding Emma and Madison hostage. He forced Emma to wake up the Monster Zero using the Orca device. The Monster Zero woke up and started wreaking havoc on the icy continent. Madison saw it and snatched the orca from her mother, producing high-pitched frequency. Afterward, the Monster Zero attacked Mark's helicopter. However, the Monster Zero stepped back the very next moment after sensing something very powerful approaching. Here, Godzilla, our hero, emerged from beneath the ice. Soon, a fierce battle broke out between Godzilla, the protector of Earth, and the Monster Zero, the destroyer of Earth. The mighty Monster Zero subdued Godzilla hands down. Seconds later, reinforcement from the Monarch arrived to save Mark and the others. Godzilla got back on his feet, but Monster Zero decided to flee, soaring into the sky. Emma contacted Mark, explaining to him and the others that she awakened the Monster Zero to save the world. After losing her son Andrew in a Titan attack, she swore his death would not be in vain and that she would find an answer. She sought a solution to why the Titans were rising, and as she dug deeper, she realized the Titans were out there for a reason. Humans have been the dominant species, and look at what they have done. Overpopulation, pollution, war. We, humans, are an infection. So the Earth unleashed a fever to fight this infection. Its original and rightful rulers, the Titans, are part of the Earth's natural defense system. Using the Orca, we will return to a natural order. Emma then asked Mark and the others to search for a safe place to hide. Afterwards, she moved to the Orca to release other Titans at Alan's behest, but Madison tried to convince her that whatever she is doing isn't right. Alan tried to manipulate her, explaining that this was her plan to release all the Titans to bring back the balance and save the planet. Hence, Emma shrugged off Madison's imploration and turned on the Orca, producing such frequencies that either triggered the Titans or awakened them. An evacuation operation was underway in Isla de Mara, Mexico, a Monarch outpost, before the Titans arrived. Suddenly, a high-pitched cry echoed from a containment unit, freezing everyone in fear. Moments later, a massive flying bird-like Titan known as Rodan, the fire demon, broke free from its containment. On the radar, Mark and the others noticed that Monster Zero was heading toward Mexico, drawn by Rodan's cries. The U.S. Air Force launched an attack on Rodan in an attempt to kill it, but they faced devastating retaliation. Rodan engaged in a fierce battle with Monster Zero, but the latter ultimately emerged victorious in their clash for dominance. Admiral William immediately ordered Colonel Foster to disengage and withdraw to a safe distance, as he planned to attack the Titans in the Atlantic Ocean using an oxygen destroyer, a weapon designed to annihilate all life within a 2-mile radius. The team was left stunned when he revealed that the missile was already en route. Monster Zero then approached the Raptor, stalking the scientists, but just as danger loomed, Godzilla made his presence known, dragging the beast into the ocean depths. Dr. Stanton urged the team to leave, warning that the missile was approaching fast while the Titans clashed beneath the waves. In the midst of battle, Godzilla managed to tear off one of Monster Zero's heads, unaware that the missile was seconds away from impact. Moments later, the oxygen destroyer struck, devastating all life underwater. Shockingly, Monster Zero resurfaced, completely unharmed by the blast, while Godzilla lay motionless on the seabed, fatally wounded. Before long, he succumbed to his injuries, leaving the team aboard the Raptor heartbroken and in despair. Monster Zero regenerated its lost head, showing off its regenerating ability. Titans began breaking through the ground from hollow earth, causing terror across the globe. Dr. Emma realized her blunder when she found the Titans destroying humans and the earth.
You're a monster.
Now the scene shifts to the Mothra cocoon site in the Yunnan rainforest of China. Dr. Brooks noticed that Monster Zero was the one doing all that and the other Titans were responding to him. That's why they were emerging from the hollow earth. Mothra developed inside its cocoon and came out of it fully grown up, mesmerizing the unit of scientists by its beauty. Madison seemed miffed with her mother for releasing the Titans and bringing about destruction on Earth under the pretense of doing all that for Andrew, her brother. She then locked herself inside a room. Colonel Diane and Dr. Stanton are perplexed about how Monster Zero survived the oxygen destroyer. Then Dr. Chen revealed a legend to the team about Monster Zero, explaining that it spoke of a great dragon who fell from the stars, a hydra whose storm swallowed both men and gods alike. He is not a part of their Earth but an alien, and more importantly, he is not meant to be here. He is nothing but a false king. Dr. Chen revealed that, in the legends, Monster Zero is called Ghidorah, the one who is many.
Ghidorah.
Moscow, London, Washington, D.C.
While approaching Castle Bravo, Dr. Serizawa and the others observed that Moscow, Washington, D.C., London, and several other major cities across the globe were under attack. Mark explained to Admiral William that all the other Titans were responding directly to an Alpha, Ghidorah, the new Alpha. They were merely following his commands. If we stop him, we stop them all, Mark said. Colonel Diane asked Mark if there was any other creature that might stand a chance against the mighty false king, Ghidorah. Dr. Serizawa interrupted, suggesting that only Godzilla could do it, as their rivalry was both ancient and unique. Meanwhile, Emma tried to convince Alan that Ghidorah was using the other Titans as weapons to destroy the Earth. She suggested that they could stop Ghidorah with the Orca, unaware that Madison was overhearing their conversation from another room through a speaker. Mark left the outpost, deciding to look for his daughter Madison. Outside, he witnessed a flash in the clouds, and soon after, a giant creature called Mothra showed up, the queen of the monsters. Mothra emits a frequency that could only Godzilla understand, as she was his queen. Soon, from under the water, Godzilla responded to her, revealing that he is still alive down there. Dr. Stanton tried to locate Godzilla, but the signals were too weak to find him. Mark resolved to help Godzilla, asking Serizawa how many nuclear bombs they had. The desperate government allowed and provided them enough nuclear bombs to bring Godzilla back from the dead. Dr. Serizawa, Dr. Chen, Mark, and Dr. Stanton boarded a submarine and went into the depths of the ocean to locate Godzilla in the hollow earth. Soon, something struck the submarine from outside. Madison snuck into the lab, shutting down the Orca. She stole it and escaped the outpost. Dr. Serizawa ordered the launch of probes to locate Godzilla. Underwater, they discovered the ruins of an ancient and forgotten civilization. Soon, they arrived in Godzilla's domain. Madison witnessed the destruction caused by the Titans. She then turned on the Orca and produced an alpha frequency that could calm the Titans outside. Suddenly, Dr. Stanton and the others managed to locate Godzilla, absorbing a large amount of radiation to heal himself. The team concluded that it would take Godzilla several years to heal on his own, but they needed him desperately at that moment. Dr. Stanton suggested launching a nuclear torpedo to revive Godzilla, but the entire weapon system had been destroyed in the crash. Determined to save him, Serizawa decided to leave the submarine and manually detonate a nuclear warhead near Godzilla to restore his nuclear energy. In other words, Serizawa chose to sacrifice his life, knowing he would perish in the explosion. Dr. Chen and Mark tried to talk him out of it, but Serizawa stood firm. Moments later, he reached Godzilla's lair, where the creature lay recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ghidorah. Serizawa continued to climb up the slope in the face of fire around himself, carrying a heavy box. He opened the box, took out the warhead, and set the timer near the wounded Godzilla. Then, he approached Godzilla and placed his hand on his head, saying a final goodbye to him while Godzilla saw him. Seconds later, this happened. Bowman and Mark came to the top of the submarine to send a distress message only to find something rushing toward their submarine. It turned out to be Godzilla, who was now more powerful than ever. He sniffed Mark and his team and returned into the waters without harming any of the humans. Sam informs the team that Emma activated the Orca near Boston, and that's why Godzilla and Ghidorah are both heading that way now. Mark says that they will help Godzilla fight and defeat Ghidorah. Alan learned that Emma's daughter Madison stopped the Titans. Nonetheless, he let her go, saying they have everything they need. Ghidorah arrives in Boston, tracking the frequencies, while Madison is stuck inside a nearby building. Soon, it burns the building with his fire. Madison takes the Orca and rushes outside to save her life, but falls over, catching Ghidorah's attention as he is attracted to the Orca. Madison throws away the Orca, and the ruthless Ghidorah tramples it, crushing it. Afterward, he goes to turn Madison to ashes, but our hero Godzilla arrives, attacking Ghidorah. Along with Godzilla, the US forces also arrive to help him defeat the False King. They collectively attack Ghidorah. Godzilla's radiation levels become uncontrollable, and soon he is about to explode like an atom bomb. Mark calls out to his daughter Madison, but ends up finding the Orca pressed under the rocks. Ghidorah tries to subjugate Godzilla, but Godzilla retaliates with his atomic breath, pushing Ghidorah far away. Meanwhile, Mothra joins the battle, helping her king. Nonetheless, Rodan, the fire demon, also arrives to help Ghidorah and attacks Mothra. Emma dives to the battlefield, asking Mark to rush into the car. On the other side, Madison is running about the field in fear while Mothra and Rodan are engaged in a fierce battle. Madison retreated into her house while the clash of the Titans was going on outside. Ghidorah absorbed the power from a nearby powerhouse, restoring his power. He then sends Godzilla crashing into a building. Meanwhile, Godzilla radiation reaches the maximum. Rodan lunged upon Mothra but got torn apart by her instead. However, she was brutally injured during the clash. Mark spotted Madison trapped under the debris. He and the other soldiers removed the debris and rescued her. Despite having so much power from the nuclear explosion, Godzilla was manhandled by Ghidorah, who soared into the sky, carrying Godzilla in his claws. Then he dropped Godzilla from such an incredible height, causing his body to catch fire. Godzilla became severely wounded because of this fall. Then Mothra crawled onto his body, becoming furious. She then lunged upon Ghidorah, but sadly got burned to ashes by the mighty False King. Nonetheless, Mothra poured her power upon Godzilla's body before dying completely, reviving and giving a massive amount of power to Godzilla. Ghidorah coiled around Godzilla, trying to choke him to death. Meanwhile, Mark and Dr. Stanton tried to fix the Orca and successfully did it. Emma asked her husband Mark and daughter Madison to get on the helicopter and leave. Meanwhile, she would distract Ghidorah using the Orca to save Godzilla. Ghidorah became distracted and left Godzilla. He then started to go after Emma, who had the Orca. Emma ran to the helicopter, but changed her mind at the last moment, considering if she got on the plane, Ghidorah would follow her and ultimately would devastate it. This way, she would endanger the life of her family and the others. So she decided to lead Ghidorah as far as she could from her family. Emma got into a jeep and Ghidorah kept following her, allowing time for Godzilla to recuperate. Madison and Mark couldn't do anything but saw Emma running away from Ghidorah. Soon Ghidorah hurled Emma's jeep into the air, causing the jeep to flip over. The three-headed monster called Ghidorah lurks around her, but soon he hears thuds approaching towards him. The nuclear Godzilla arrives, melting everything that comes in his path along the way. With his full power, Godzilla attacks Ghidorah with his nuclear breath, incinerating him in an instant. Grabbing one of Ghidorah's head in his mouth, Godzilla emerged from the debris and flung the head into the sky, incinerating it. Soon after, other Titans arrived there and bowed to Godzilla, considering him their new king. Godzilla also screams into the sky, proving the fact that he is the true king of the monsters.